سوف نبقى هنا كي يزول الألم، سوف نحيا هنا، سوف يحلو النوم.
Announcement: public protest against abuses of power, injustices of King Fahd Academy Administration venue, Bromyard Avenue, East Acton, Ealing, London, W37HD. Date: Friday 11th of January 2013. Time: 2:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. Concerned parents, campaigners of good quality education, human rights activists and various other stakeholders are staging a peaceful protest against abuses of power and injustices of King Fahd Academy, Bromyard Avenue, East Acton, Ealing, London, W37HD, and are calling you to join them in their protest. Main grievances include inequalities and preferential treatments based on ethnicities and relationships, unfair exclusion of school children, and violations of individual rights and liberties bred of safety and welfare of children, and non-compliance with the general rules and regulations aiming at safeguarding school children. Substantial and sudden increase of student contributions and denial of bursaries to children from poorer families, as stated in the Charity Commission document. Principle 2: failing educational standards and lack of action both from the Academy's administration and its Board of Trustees. Continued harassment and intimidation against all parents who were outspoken in support of their children and against the poor education and bad administration at King Fahd Academy. We are calling for the removal of the current principal of King Fahd Academy, Sumaya al-Yusuf, and her aides from their posts, and return of all expelled children back to their academy. We hope you join us and help the weak and the voiceless in our society. Best regards, concerned parents. Parent-to-parent message of concerned parents of former as well as current students of King Fahd Academy to other parents at KFA. Wednesday, 9th of January, 2013. Dear fellow parent, we are a group of parents of current and ex-students of King Fahd Academy from various ethnic minority background, and would like to draw your attention to something that seriously affect the education of all children at this academy, which we failed to take notice of. Before we say anything, we would like to clarify that we have no issue against the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, its people, the policies and programs of the monarchy, whether it is inside or outside Saudi soil. To the contrary, we are Vermont supporters of the Saudi monarchy and understand fully the prominent role Saudi Arabia is playing in the Islamic and the non-Islamic world in serving Muslim minorities, communities and non-Muslim countries. As birthplace of Islam, Saudi Arabia take responsibility to Islamic world and the Muslims living outside in addressing the spiritual needs of the Muslim community. Among many other things, the Kingdom of Saudi built schools like King Fahd Academy for Muslim families who want their children to have access to normal school education coupled with Muslim ethos. But the only problems we have, and we believe you also have, are the problems of bad education and poor administration at the heart of this academy, created by the current principal and her aides. And we only want the administration of King Fahd Academy to recognize the problems faced by its former and current students as a direct result of its poor education and bad administration. Years of failing educational standards and abuses of power and corruption has caused unusual drop in student numbers. A school which claims to be teaching rigorous international education coupled with Islamic ethos to 3 to 18-year-olds is no more than a failed school educationally and troubled place administratively. IGCSE results of 5A star to C grade was 0% in 2008 and 2010. Students' numbers dropped significantly. There were 1140 in 1998 to just 375 in 2012. A People's Surprise School is not admitting its failures. For your own benefit, you need to look for the results yourself. Visit Department for Education website www.education.gov/schools/performance/ also click on Performance Tables 1994 to 2011, then choose any year you want to check, then click on Secondary School GCSE and equivalent. Please be aware that any time you want to know about the performance of academy at local, regional and national level, or you want to know about the educational attainment of the school children, they will either give you misleading information, tell you the academy is among the top performing schools in the England, or tell you that they are not part of any group, or give you evasive answers. Reality is that the work all academies and schools in UK is inspected and evaluated by one system, Department of Education. Do not listen to lies and find the truth yourself. Dear brothers and sisters, the people who manage King Fahd Academy appear to be caring individuals from the outset, but inside they are harming the very student they were supposed to help. Our main grievances are cross inequalities and preferential treatments based on ethnicity and relationships, failing educational standards and lack of action of safety and welfare of students, and non-compliance with general rules and regulations that safeguard school children across the country, intimidation and harassment against all parents who were outspoken against the problems of poor education and bad administration, unfair exclusion of school children and violations of individual rights and liberties, and sudden increase of parent contributions and denial of bursaries to children from poorer families as stated in the Charity Commission Guidance. See below. The Commission Guidance is as follows. Principle 2. Beware benefit is to a section of the public. The opportunity to benefit must not be unreasonably restricted. Many different sorts of charities can, and do, charge for their services or facilities. These can charge fees that more than cover the cost of those services or facilities, provided that the charges are reasonable and necessary to carry out the charity's aims, for example, in maintaining or developing the service provided. Where, in practice, the charging restricts the benefits only to people who can afford to pay the fees charged, this may result in the benefits not being available to a sufficient section of the population. Principle 2c. People in poverty must not be excluded from the opportunity to benefit. The fact that the services will be charged for and therefore provided mainly to people who can afford to pay does not necessarily mean the organization's aims are not for the public benefit. However, if an organization's aims excluded people from the opportunity to benefit because they could not pay the fees, then its aims would not be for the public benefit. People in poverty must not be excluded from the opportunity to benefit. So it would not, for example, be enough to reduce very high fees slightly to enable more middle-income people to benefit. If people in poverty were still excluded from the opportunity to benefit, enemies of anybody, but we are fighting against the abuses of power and corruption. We are calling authorities here in United Kingdom and in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to investigate this matter and do something about it immediately and comprehensively. Calling for the removal of the current principal Sumana al-Yusuf from their posts and to replace with principal and staff who understand the needs of the academy, its students and their parents, and who can restore the noble status this academy once had. There is no smoke without fire. There is good reason why many parents are unhappy about what has happened to their children at KFA and what is still continuing to happen to them, and other than stand everything. Please join us in our protest against the wrongdoings of King Fahd Academy administration outside the entrance of King Fahd Academy on Friday, 11th of January, 2013 between 2:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. The poor and the helpless amongst us. Best regards. Concerned parents. Please join and support us at the public peacefully protest will be covered by media.
والتائبون معذبون والرافضون مغررون والتائبون معذبون والرافضون مغررون سائرون إلى جليل يخبطون حتى متى يا قلب تعشاك الظنون يا قلب تعشاك الظنون إن لم تكن للحق أنت فمن يكون الناس في محراب لذات الدنايا عاكفون إن لم تكن للحق أنت فمن يكون الناس في محراب لذات الدنايا عاكفون والموت غاب عن العيون والحور والجنات صارت كالظنون أهتف بكل النائمين أتصدقون أننا نموت ويهدم الجبار ناصية السنين حتى متى قلب تعشاك الظنون يا قلب تعشاك الظنون والتائهون معذبون والرافضون مغررون والتائهون معذبون والرافضون مغررون سائرون إلى جليل يخبطون حتى متى قلب تغشاك الظنون يا قلب تغشاك الظنون يا قلب تغشاك الظنون